Mom. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Summerfield, Florida, and welcome to this week's YouTube Live. If you're new here, I go live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I hope you'll join us, invite your friends to join us as well. I always have a fun project. Oh my gosh, my hair is so crazy, guys. I'm sorry. But I always have a fun project to share and lots of tips and tricks on how to make your crafting projects super fun and exceptional. So let's see what's been going on. So I think last week, it feels like forever ago, we were expecting that big storm. Oh, let me turn my video down here. There we go. We were expecting that big storm. Was that Thursday night? My son was so excited. He had school off. You know, to kids, it's like, ooh, a day out of school. So he didn't care. He was happy about that. But joke's on him because he was supposed to have a day off for Columbus Day next month, and they use those days as like hurricane makeup days, like how in the north here in America they usually have snow days built in. Well, in Florida they just take your days off and make them hurricane makeup days. So now he doesn't have a holiday this month. So I told him now your next break isn't until Thanksgiving. So he was a little bummed about that, but oh well. But yeah, everything went fine, luckily for us here in Central Florida. We just had lots of wind. I know a lot of people around us had trees that came down. We had sort of a small branch like in the street the next morning that I just pulled out of the road and put off to the side of the road. But we had a little bit of a power flicker on and off before we went to bed Thursday night, and then that was really it. Just lots of wind, lots of debris the next morning from, you know, leaves and branches and palm fronds from the palm trees all over the streets. But there's lots of like crew and, you know, workers around here that clean everything up. So by the afternoon, Friday afternoon, it was pretty much almost back to the way it was here, luckily for us. I know not everybody else fared as well. I hope that if you struggled through the storm, that you made it out safely and you were able to maybe stay with some friends or family or evacuate if you needed to. I know some of the states like the Carolinas and Tennessee didn't fare so well. We're definitely thinking about them. Hopefully within, you know, a few weeks or months, everything will get back to normal for those states and everybody's safe. Hopefully, if you have anybody in those areas, you've reached out and checked on them. But yeah, I was surprised because normally you figure Florida, being a peninsula, we always get hit first, so we usually take the brunt of it, but this time that was not the case for a lot of Florida. Not everybody, obviously, but not as much as usual. Oh, you just got your power back on. So my parents live in northern South Carolina, and they reached out to me and my sisters. My sisters both live in Maryland. I live in Florida. And they said, well, we need to leave because their power hasn't been on for almost a week now. And it wasn't expected to be on until this weekend. And my mom just said, oh, it's back on apparently. But they went up north to Maryland and stayed with my sister to kind of have some power and wait a couple weeks until everything gets back to normal in South Carolina. Luckily, they had that option. I know not everybody does, but that's good news, Mom, that your power came back on. Hopefully, you know, things will get back to normal down where you're from very soon. So, but anyway, what else is going on? So my son had bowling today. My husband takes him on Wednesdays. He always has a match, but it cuts really close to my videos. My husband is able to take my son bowling and gives me all the updates while I'm waiting to go live with you guys. And apparently they are team one today. Yay, that's really cool. So it was really nice. And don't forget, as you guys join, please say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. I love hearing from you and seeing where people watch from all over the world or the country. I like to see lots of comments and questions and know where you're coming from. Oh, sounds like my husband and my son just came home. My dog, I could hear him on the other side of the door and jumped up. He's been running to the window like all day looking outside and like wagging his tail, but nobody's out there. So I don't know if he sees a ghost or what, but anyway, all right, so I'm gonna flip the camera around. I have a couple of quick updates to go over, actually lots of updates. It seems like every time there's a new month, there's lots of cool things to go over. Oh, hi, Jean. Thanks so much for joining us from New York. Nice. I hear it's raining up north in a lot of states right now too, so nice fall weather for a lot of people here. All right, so let's flip the camera around. And so, breaking news, the peppermints are back in stock. If you have been waiting on these, run to your computer and order these ASAP because these have been very popular. They keep going out of stock. And I wouldn't be surprised if within the next day or two they go on back order again. It's just the nature of the beast. Whenever Stampin' Up gets something that's very popular, it's, you know, people buy a bunch of them and then they go on back order and they usually get more, but sometimes it takes a few weeks. So these weren't expected to be back in for a couple weeks and then they came back today. So that's great. So if you've been waiting on those, make sure to head over to stampinup.com and get those because I would not be surprised if they run out again. They've been very, very popular. Okay. Some other reminders here. So I shared this last week, but it doesn't hurt in case you missed the news to share it again. So Stampin' Up provided these little inserts here for like the designer series paper and the punches and the dies. If that's something you've been missing from the annual catalog, I have these all over on my website, stampcampwithjen.com. You can print them out. It's free printable. I'm not going to charge you for that. That's something that would be silly. That's something that Stampin' Up provided to everybody because they realized everybody was missing this resource. So I did put my contact information in the little block so you can contact me if you have any questions. But I know they are working on, they've gotten a lot of feedback about this newer layout for the annual catalog, and they are looking at ways to improve. And I think they're going to work on, I don't know if they'll put this exact same layout in future catalogs, but I think they're hearing that people really miss this, and so I think they're working on ways to improve future catalogs with those resources for you. And then, of course, don't forget, we do have the scrapbooking brochure. When Stampin' Up acquired Close to My Heart, they acquired all of the Close to My Heart products as well, and they rushed to get a scrapbooking brochure that goes in line with our mini catalog. So these two, you see they both September 2024. This does not have an end date, but listed, but it is the same end date as this mini catalog. So these two, the scrapbooking brochure and the mini catalog, will both end, it's really like the beginning of January. It says December, but it's like the first couple days in January. So, and the scrapbooking brochure is only online. So if you want to view the products, and there's about 20 pages, it's not huge, but there are quite a few papers and scrapbooking workshop kits, they call them, that show you how to make scrapbook page layouts. They have everything included, detailed instructions. So if you're a scrapbooker and you're looking for those resources, you can get those online at stampinup.com. In the future, these scrapbooking products will be worked into like the mini and the annual catalog, so we won't have a separate brochure. I think it will be separate maybe for the next mini catalog, but I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe by the time the annual catalog comes next year, those products should be included in the annual catalog and we won't have a separate, yet another separate resource to go to. It's just they really wanted to get this out so people could get those products during the holidays and have that resource available. Okay, And then another reminder, if you are going to be near the Villages, Florida on November 15th, I am doing a Christmas card making event. This is something you need to sign up and pay for ahead of time, so I make sure I have enough kits available. The cost is $35. We're gonna make about 6 cards. Everything will be pre-cut. You'll just stamp and assemble. You need to sign up and pay by November 1st. The early bird discount has passed, so it's $35 now. And this will be held at the Wildwood Community Center. So we're gonna have projects, those cards I mentioned, where you'll get a pillow gift. I'll have my retired Stampin' Up items for sale, lots of card samples, and it'll just be a fun afternoon of crafting. So if you can't make this, I do have another one scheduled in February that you can mark your calendar for and reach out to me if you have questions about. We'll be doing more like spring Valentine's type stuff. But that's on my website under my calendar. If you have questions, just reach out to me and I can give you more details about either one of those. All right, and then last week, the clearance rack was updated. I checked probably about an hour ago, and there's still 3 pages full of stuff, which there's about 30 items per page, so probably over 75 products still on the clearance rack. So up to 60% off, lots of great deals. So if you haven't had a chance to check it out, you still have lots of products to choose from, including some of the, I think it's the 2022, no, 20, what year was that? 2022 to 2024 with in colors with Parakeet Party, Starry Sky, all those in colors. There's a lot of in color products on there as well. So if you're missing some of those products and you wanted to add more to your stash, that would be it would be a great idea to head over there, because these items are always only while supplies last. So as soon as they go, they're gone. So head over there at stampinup.com and check out the clearance rack. Paper pumpkin. So Stampin' Up is still doing this paper pumpkin sale through October 10th, where if you're a new subscriber and you sign up for Paper Pumpkin, you will get 40% off. So Paper Pumpkin's normally $25, so your first Paper Pumpkin kit will be $15. You can, after you sign up, if you decide you want to keep doing it, and say you don't like a month, you can skip it the following month until you get to the next month. Maybe you like, 2 months from now and you want that kit, or you can just cancel altogether. It's up to you. But you're not set in stone is my point. So once you sign up, you don't have to get every kit every month. You can kind of pick and choose which ones you want to get. Oh, hi, Cindy from Tennessee. How are you doing from the storm? I hope you fared well through that. I know Tennessee got hit pretty hard too. How's the weather out there? Okay, so yeah, so October 10th, just if you're a new subscriber and you want to sign up, just make sure to input this code holiday40 when you sign up to get that discount on your kit. And then today I updated my PDF tutorial library with my new Regal Flora tutorials. If you missed Stamp Camp to Go, but you wanted the tutorial only option, you can go to stampcampwithjen.com and check out my tutorial library, and you can purchase these as well as a bunch of other tutorials that I have. So be sure to check those out as well. And if you'd like to sign up for Stamp Camp to Go, this is a really good deal. It's a monthly subscription. So that Regal Flora tutorial that I was just showing, that was my most recent Stamp Camp to Go. You get card kits, usually product like paper, ribbon, embellishments. It's a great deal. And after 6 consecutive months of subscribing, you get to choose a free stamp set of your choice up to $27 in value. So if you'd like to do that, you can also head over to my website and sign up for that. And then I told you lots of stuff to go over today. This month, Stampin' Up is doing a kits collection sale up to 30% off kits. And there were 2 new kits. I forgot to write down what they were called, but there were 2 new kits introduced this month as well. So if you love kits, this is a great deal for you. Kits make great Christmas presents. They make great crafting opportunities for the holidays. Like say you want to take a kit with you over to a friend's house for Thanksgiving, or you want to take it with you to your kid's house and craft with your grandkids. I mean, I have a 8-year-old granddaughter and she loves these kits. Like I give her a kit and she can put the stamps and ink and everything together. I just kind of direct her through the instructions a little bit, and then I usually have a pack of rhinestones nearby because she loves everything sparkly, and I just give her rhinestones to bling everything up afterwards, and then that's pretty much it. And then she takes them and gives them to her mom and her aunt and her dad. Lots of cool things to do to get kids and beginner crafters involved. So if you're thinking about it, I honestly might get one for her for Christmas. She loves them. And I love the boxes because they make like the perfect size for like t-shirts and books. If you're need to wrap them up, that's like perfect. Okay. And then this is an awesome deal. So if you have ever thought about becoming a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, this is the deal for you. So Stampin' Up! In October has a starter kit special. So your starter kit is when you join your starter products that you choose, basically. It doesn't have to be simple things. It can be anything you want. Maybe you were a demonstrator before, you dropped for a little bit and you decide you want to become a demonstrator again. So you can pick and choose any items you want, anything that's current, as well as the new online exclusives that demonstrators can order from this month. So there will be new online exclusives available to everybody next month, but this month they are now available to demonstrators. So when you sign up, and you will get to choose $155 worth of products for only $99. You get free shipping. You get a free previous paper pumpkin kit. You don't know which one it'll be, as well as business supplies. So it's a really great deal. I'm always looking for people to join our team. I love having people in our crafting community, and you don't have to be local to Florida to be on my team as well. You could be, I have people in California, Alabama, Virginia, all over the country. So I try to do things virtually with my team to kind of connect everybody. I know people's schedules are crazy, so a lot of times virtual just makes it easy. We do lots of fun things together. So if this is something you're interested in or you're thinking about, please reach out to me. You do not have to be what they call a business demonstrator, where you have to have a big team and you sell a bunch of product. Honestly, if you just love Stampin' Up! Products and you want a great discount, this is the best discount you're going to get. All demonstrators get 20%, 20 to 25, depending on how far you go through the ranks, but you start off with a 20% discount on all of your favorite Stampin' Up! Products. You get to preview products before anybody else. Like I said, we have those online exclusives that just came out, so I got to see all of those when they came out a couple days ago. There's just so many great things about being a demonstrator. I love it. I actually just hit my 5-year anniversary at the end of August, and I love it. I can't wait to do 50 more years, hopefully, of it. But yeah, so if this is something you're interested in, please reach out to me. I'm always available for questions, and I'd love to talk to you more about it if that's something you're thinking about. All right, and then for my customers that place an order with me this month of at least $50, we're gonna do something new. I love coming up with fun ways to kind of thank you for ordering with me, and so this is something new we're gonna try this month. It's a virtual craft party. So it will be later at night during, I think, what did I schedule it for? Like a weekday night around like 8 p.m. Eastern time. So it will be something that will be easier for most people, I think, to join. It will be on YouTube, but it won't be available to everybody. It'll be through a private link that you will get emailed to you, and I'll email it to you again the day of the event so you don't lose it. We'll make a special project, and there might even be a little giveaway. So if you, like I said, anytime in October, place a $50 order with me or more, and you'll get all of the details for that, okay? Anytime in October, so all the way through October 31st, place an order with me and you'll get that information, okay? It's gonna be lots of fun. I hope you can join us, okay? And if you can't join it live, when I send the information to you, I will send the replay out to everybody as well. So you won't miss out if you, for some reason, you can't join us live, but I would love for everybody to try to join us live as much as possible. Okay, so today's project, super, super cute. I love this. I had so much fun making this. So I have two versions. I'm going to show you this one today, but this is kind of a stepped up version. I'm going to kind of give you a basic overview of how I did that. But look at his sunglasses. I did some Wink Estella on those sunglasses to make them kind of shiny like they would be in the sun. Ah, super fun. So we're going to go through the steps, and then, like I said, towards the end, I'll kind of give you a rundown of how I did this. I don't know which one I like better. I think I might like this one better just because it's quicker. But if you like to fussy cut, I like how that fussy cut looks as well. So I don't know. All right, so the color palette here is Summer Splash on the background, Petunia Pop, and Daffodil Delight. Those are those three. It's not a color combination that maybe you would think to use, but I didn't want to use, since it was Tropical Santa, I didn't want to use like a usual red and green, you know, traditional colors. I didn't want to do that. I want to do something fun and vibrant. Santa's on vacation. So we are going to take our Summer Splash card base here. I'm just going to fold this over and then put it to the side. But I love these colors together. Look at that. They're so pretty. Those two are some of the in colors from this year. Petunia Pop, I think when I ask customers what their favorite one, this is the one I hear the most. But I really like those two together. I think that's really fun. Okay, and I've already embossed this So Swirly embossing folder. So this folder is humongous. It is 6 by 8.5. That's how big this folder is. This is from the annual catalog. You can find it. Let me see here. I'm going to show you. So I always go in my little index back here. We're going to go to, where would this be? Embossing folders here. So this is page 140. Embossing folders are on page 129. And the So Swirly is right here, number 11. This is on page 129. So this is one of those big boys, the new big embossing folders that they have. And I love it because it looks like water, like swirly water. Hi, Honeybee Stamping. Oh, that's a cute name. My mom would like that. We call her Bee. Or the grandkids do, rather. Okay, so I embossed that already, and we're going to take some liquid glue and adhere that to the front. And really, you could do either side. I don't think it really matters. But we're going to take some liquid glue here. Now, I always use liquid glue when I use an embossed layer because you have all those ridges. You really need to get that adhesive on there nice and tight, and to get through those ridges you need that liquid glue. And it's always nice to have that extra couple seconds to wiggle everything in place and make sure it's lined up like it needs to be. And then we'll just kind of press that down, get that glue in those ridges. All right. And then I have the basic white, and these measurements are all going to be in the PDF tutorial on my blog tomorrow, and we're going to put that over the Petunia Pop, okay? So I'm going to set these aside, and I'm going to show you how I stamped this. So first, we need some masking paper. So I don't know if you've ever used this before. This was actually, I think, the first, I've had this for a while, but this was the first time I pulled this out. It comes in a pack, 5 by 7, and you get 12 sheets of it. Now let's see, I want to see if I can find this in my catalog here. Always, always, always use your index. That is the little cheat sheet that I like to use. So this would be under, I believe, tools and storage. Let's see. Masking paper, maybe not. where are we gonna find this here? Ah, under paper. Imagine that. Paper and packaging on page 140 over here, 140. Paper and packaging down here at the bottom. It says page 124 is where we find our masking paper in the catalog here. So you will see it. Masking, they use it for those cute little animals. Masking paper, and there's all the information right there. Now, I know I've heard from some customers that it's nice how they put this in here, but it's kind of hard to find the information. So my goal is to show this to you in the video so that if you try to look for this later, it'll be a little bit easier for you to find. But yeah, so right here, you can see them kind of using it in the pictures, and then there's the product number and the price and how many sheets you get. And that's on page 124, okay? All right, so what we are going to do is we're going to take a sheet out. Now it comes with, you can kind of see there is a little line here. So that is where you would peel it away. So what I want to do is I actually want to stamp kind of over that center to make it easy to peel the backing off of this paper, because if I try to do it off to the side, it's going to be really difficult to kind of find that backing. And this is actually pretty thin. I think it might be, with the backing on, it might be about as thick as a Post-it note sheet. But when you take that backing off, because a lot of times I do use Post-it notes to do masking, and I kind of played around with this with a Post-it note and then with the masking paper, and I found that the masking paper is a little bit thinner than the Post-it note sheet. So I actually like this as far as being able to stamp and not having a bunch of gaps when you stamp over Santa, okay? So we are going to, let's see here. Oh, I should first show you what the stamp set that we're using here. So this is Surfing Santa. This is what we're using. We're gonna stamp this Santa, this little wave, and that sun, and then the words we're using are the May your days be sunny and bright. And this is from the mini catalog. So we're gonna be using Surfing Santa. So now in the index on this one, Surfing Santa is on page 55 if you want to get the details for that out of your catalog. And as soon as I saw this, I knew I wanted to get it, because living in Florida, or if you live in Hawaii, Guam, Puerto Rico, anywhere tropical, California, anywhere with warm weather, this, especially when it's warm at Christmas time, this is probably going to be your go-to set, I think, this year as well. I've heard lots of people say, oh, I love it so much. Okay, so I've got Santa already on a block here. This is a D block, and we're going to take our Memento ink here. And what I want to do is I'm actually going to stamp him in the middle of my basic white sheet first, okay? And when we stamp him, we're going to keep in mind the surfboard, it needs to look like it's going up a wave, right? And when you kind of tilt it so that that surfboard is angled, you'll notice his body looks like he's standing straight up. So that's the position you should have when you stamp it. And you just stamp it right in the center there. So we're gonna get our stamp inked up here with our Tuxedo Black Memento ink, one of my favorites. It's a good base color to have. Okay, and so yeah, I'm just gonna stamp him. Keep in mind, we want his body to be straight and his surfboard to kind of be angled a little bit. And then we will just stamp him right in the center there. Lots of pressure. Good, just like that. Now I'm gonna grab a little scrap piece of paper here, because what I wanna do next is I wanna stamp that Santa over where that, like I said, where that opening is in the center here. But we only need to stamp up to about his shoulder. We don't need to stamp the whole thing. So I'm just gonna stamp up to his shoulder on the edge there. Okay. So right about there. It doesn't have to be perfect. We just need it so that we can have it to cover the stamped image for our waves. And I'll show you in just a second. So now we're gonna grab some paper snips. And we don't need to worry about this whole piece over here. I really just want the bottom of the surfboard and then this side, because when we stamp him, those waves might come up over his arms, but the wave isn't going to go above the surfboard. So this part we don't need to cut. So we're just going to go straight down and go around the surfboard. So there is still a little bit of fussy cutting, but this isn't nearly as bad as trying to cut the whole Santa. Trust me, it's a lot easier. So I'm just going to go around the board. I'm actually going to go straight up his arm, over his shoulder, just kind of following the lines like you would if you were cutting any picture out. And we can put that away. And now I'm going to cut out this little section by his surfboard. And once you have this cut out, you can, it's pretty sticky, so you could use this for multiple cards. Like if you were planning on making this for your friends for Christmas, or your friends and family, and you wanted to mail a bunch of them, you could have this to use over and over and over again for quite a few. And it won't tear your paper, even though it is really tacky, as long as you slowly remove it. When you peel it off, it won't tear your paper there. So, all right. So it doesn't have to be perfect. You just kind of want to get that little bit of excess so it lines up with your Santa there. Okay. So see, this is how he looks now. Looks a little funny, but that's all right. And then we're going to, like I said, now we have that little seam. We stamped over that seam. So all we do, like a sticker, you just peel the backing off. And I'm actually going to take this corner and just kind of fold it over just a little bit, and that'll help me peel it off. Because like I said, it is really sticky. So you want that little corner to be able to lift it off to have a starting point when you're done, okay? So we're just gonna line this up right over Santa. Make sure everything lines up. And stick it down. Just like that. And now we have that little corner. So I'll be able to have a starting point there as well. So you can kind of see that, okay? So now we're gonna take our pool party, and we have our wave. So this is how it looks straight up with that long tail and then the curve over the top there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our pool party ink, move this out of the way for just a second, and we're gonna ink it up. Now, if you have a hard time with these photopolymer stamps with the ink not sticking, or, oh, a big dog here. My dog is all over the place. I'm gonna try to clean that real quick. But if you have a hard time with the ink kind of bubbling up or it not sticking to your photopolymer stamps, you can put it in Versamark ink, stamp off, and without cleaning it, put it back into your ink pad, and that should help it hold the ink a lot better. So you could try that if you have that problem. I had a pad that was really juicy, so I had to take my spoon and kind of rub it over a little bit, and I actually ended up taking a paper towel and blotting it to get some of that extra ink out as well, because it was bubbling up so much on my ink pad. It was way too much, and it was just looked like a big blob when I would stamp. So that's another option as well. Okay, so this is really light, so I just want to stamp off just to make sure. It's really hard to see this pool party sometimes. So yep, that's pretty good. Okay, pool party is very, very light. So now what we're going to do when we stamp, we want to line up that little edge with the edge of the surfboard here. So as we're stamping, here, let me zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. So this little edge here is going to line up with that edge of the surfboard, and it can go over just a little bit. That's fine. We want it to. So right there, we're going to press down really good. Oh, and I actually pressed down too much, but that's okay. I'm not too worried about it because it's the ocean. It's all right. So be careful not to ink it up too much and press down too hard. All right, and then since we have that masking over here, we're gonna put that over the arm right there, keeping it straight, and we're just gonna press down. I'm not gonna press down as hard because obviously that was a mess, but that's much better just like that. Okay, and so now we are going to take Santa off. But yeah, I won't even worry about that because it just makes it look like more of an ocean, so no big deal. But maybe don't press down as hard as I did. All right, so now we have that starting point, so we can peel this paper back here. And look at that magic. What? Ta-da, so cool. And now, like I said, it's very tacky, but you can use it over and over and over again. So I would say that's a big tip, is to fold that corner over so you have a starting point. Because the first time I did it, I didn't do that. And I was digging at it and digging at it with my scissors, and you could totally mess up your paper by doing that. So just kind of fold over that little corner and that'll help you. And then you just keep it off to the side as you do your other ones, your other cards, okay? But that's the basics of that. So now we'll stamp in Daffodil Delight. We're gonna do our sun off to the corner. And hold on one second here. Alrighty. So now we're just gonna ink up our sun and kind of stamp that off in the corner. You want it to go off the edges a little bit, just like that. And then we're gonna do our words in Petunia Pop. And I don't know, what did I do? Oh, okay, it's right here. I didn't have it on a block for some reason like I did the other ones, so it made me nervous. I thought I forgot to grab it. All right, so let me grab a block real quick. All right, so again, Petunia Pop. This was the one I was talking about that was really juicy, and I had to actually go over it with a paper towel. But we're right under those waves. We're gonna put "May your days be sunny and bright," just like that. Okay, and I like to do all that before I color because I don't want to do a bunch of coloring and then mess up and have to start all over again. So I prefer to stamp first, okay? All right, so now we've done all of our stamping, and let's see here. Okay, so for this one, I just want to show you real quick. So I stamped the waves before I stamped the Santa, and then I just took a blending brush. I don't know if you can see it, but I took a blending brush and put some Pool Party ink behind where the Santa is. And then Santa, I stamped off on a scrap piece of paper and fussy cut him out and just popped him up with dimensional. So that's really the only difference between these two cards, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and do some coloring. I have Summer Splash, the dark Summer Splash. We're going to use that for his hat. It was funny, I looked online to see if people had done anything with this stamp set. I didn't see a ton. There were a few, but not too many. I thought this was such a cute stamp set. I think maybe people don't know what to do with it, so, or maybe they're focused on other things, I don't know, but we're gonna use this dark Summer Splash for the trees on his swim trunks. So cute. My husband and I were actually talking about swimming today because it was almost 90 degrees down here. I know a lot of you guys are in warmer or cooler climates. I kind of wish I was right now. I was sweating. But, and this is actually part of a tree, I think, right here. Yeah, I really like this tropical Santa kind of taking a vacation after delivering all of his presents. I thought this was really fun. And so for the shirt, I did a tropical, I did the little stripes with the Summer Splash, and we're going to use Daffodil Delight on his shirt. So hat, stripes, and trees is what we're using the dark Summer Splash for. And then we're gonna use dark Petunia Pop for the rest of his shorts. Here, his little swim trunks. And for his cup. Kind of like a solo cup, I guess. A purple solo cup. This is one talented Santa. I don't think I could surf on a good day, let alone surf with a drink in my hand. He's quite the talented guy. I mean, he can go around the world in one night, so I guess he is pretty talented in general, right? Has anybody, does it boggle your mind that we're already talking about Christmas presents and October just started? I put my Halloween decorations out on Sunday, which was still September, and my husband said, it's not even October yet. He's very funny that way. I said, it's close enough. I'm not doing it during the week. It'll be fine. All right, and then our little cup here, we're gonna do the Petunia Pop as well. Such a pretty color. I love this color. Okay, so we got that. Now we're gonna get our Daffodil Delight. Or actually, let's do our pecan pie. I have dark pecan pie, and we're just gonna use that for the little, you can use any brown. This is just what I grabbed, but for those little tree stumps on his shorts. Okay, and then light and dark Daffodil Delight. So I'm gonna take the dark Daffodil Delight first, and I'm actually gonna use that for his little frame, the little sunglass bridge right there on his nose. And then we're just gonna use the dark to go around the inside edge of the snowboard, and we're gonna do a little shading here with this one. Just the insides here. Just like that. Okay. And then we'll use this for the stripes on his shirt as well. Just because they're kind of small, so using that darker yellow make it pop a little bit more. Okay. And then the lighter yellow. So what happens, whoops, not that end. What happens with these alcohol markers is if we color over that darker yellow, that alcohol from the lighter marker will pull that color out and kind of blend it together. So that's basically what I'm doing right here. A snowboard. It could be a snowboard, but I don't know why you'd be snowboarding in your swim trunks. A surfboard. Did I say snowboard? I could have. It's a surfboard. All right. I like to just use that fine tip end there and kind of go over the darker Daffodil Delight. And like I said, that will pull out that color and kind of blend them together very nicely. So color that in. Blend everything together just like that. All right. You don't have to do that. You could just color it in either light or dark, but I think that's kind of a fun touch to do. So I wanted to show you, so I didn't do it on these two, but I kind of played around with it. So a video that a friend of mine shared, she saw a demonstrator do this. So if you take a real red watercolor pencil and kind of apply it to the top of his shoulder, you can make it look like he has a little sunburn here. We're gonna take this, and then I'm gonna take the light Stampin' Blends marker, SU 900 from the Natural Tones markers that were released a few years ago. And we're gonna color over that watercolor pencil, and you can kind of see it's making it look like his shoulder is sunburned. I thought that was so cool. I'm sorry, I can't remember the demonstrator's name that my friend shared with me, but I just thought that was so neat. So I wanted to share that little tip with you in case you wanted to try it. But you just, I guess from having that liquid from the marker, it kind of blends in the watercolor pencil and it makes it look like he's got a little sunburn. So there are a bunch, I'll grab them here in a second. I put them all in a little basket to show you, but Stampin' Up! A few years ago, they introduced the natural tones, Stampin' Blend markers. You were able to get them as one big pack initially, and then they divided them up into 5 sets of 2. So there's 10 markers total. But you can get those in all the different skin tones, and it's really neat because that makes it, I like it for projects like this where you can kind of customize it how you like it, and I just think that's really cool. But let's do his sunglasses real quick and then I'll show you those. This is the light smoky slate for his sunglasses here. And then, like I said, I took Wink of Stella and put it over the lenses to make it look like they're shining in the sun. Isn't that adorable? So, so fun. So these are all of the, isn't this pouch so cute? My mom made me this. But there are a ton of these different skin shades. There's deep, medium, light, medium. And I have a chart, I'll share it on my blog post tomorrow, but I have a chart of all the different combinations you can do with those and what the skin tones look like and stuff. It's really cool. So we are just going to put this on here flat. I'm gonna use my Stampin' Seal Plus. But I just thought this was so cute. I love this little Santa. These might be my Christmas cards to my family this year. I do try to send out Christmas cards. A lot of times I just grab old ones that I have in my stash to send to my family because they don't know. My cousins and stuff, they don't follow this stuff. So sometimes I get lazy and do that, but I think I might actually get on the ball this year and try to make Christmas cards to send out. My husband and I are usually a good team. He'll help me stuff the envelopes and get everything ready to go. Sometimes we sit there and eat, you know, little snacks while we're putting everything together, all the cards together, and we'll listen to Christmas music, and it's kind of a fun thing to do together. He helps me out. All right, so, and then we're gonna just put some dimensionals on here, and we're gonna pop this up over our So Swirly card here. Our So Swirly base, Summer Splash base that we have. All right. I always like to make sure it's opening in the right direction before I put it down. We've all done that before where it's upside down, backwards. All right, and that is it. What do you guys think? Do you like this? Will you give it a try? Do you have the stamp set? Hopefully I've convinced you that you have to have it. This is a really cool one. I really think it's cool. And I love that little trick to make his sunburn. I thought that was so cool. All right, guys. Well, let's flip the camera back around so you can see my smiling face. All right, well, I hope you've really enjoyed this project. Don't forget to give me a little thumbs up or a heart and let me know what you think, even if you're whether you're live or a replay watcher. I love hearing from you guys. Let me know what you think of this project. Did you learn anything or see anything maybe that you didn't know before? I'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to join me again next week. I think I'm going to do a little treat holder next week. I've been coming up with different ideas. So if you ever want to get a sneak peek of what we're going to be making, I always post a little reminder on Wednesday around lunchtime on my Facebook page. So make sure to head over there and follow me so that you get those updates as well. And don't forget to grab your peppermints before they go on back order. Those are back in stock. You need to get them ASAP, okay? All right, guys, well, have a great week, and I will see you next Wednesday. Be safe and happy stamping. Bye-bye.